This is an assembly instructions for the leg curl leg extension machine. Once you pull all of your parts out, you'll see that all the nuts and bolts is already where it's supposed to go in the machine. You will be just piecing it back together. So first thing you want to do is have the upright to the side, to the left if you're from the front. Then this part here where you see the two bolts, the bolts are gonna go towards the inside like you see it. Then you have your seat area lined up, and then that bar right there is gonna connect on these bolts right here and over to those bolts right there. And then this part right here, which is the arm attachment, those are gonna line up where this arm right here is gonna line up with those bolts, and then the bottom one is gonna line up with those bolts. So you're just gonna pull the machine back together. Everything is already in place. You're just piecing it back together. Okay, this is what it looks like once it's pulled back together. Then the next part, you will grab the two arms, these right here, and the bolts are already in there. You just set those arms into place like that. Screw those together. Then now you will have this piece right here. You're gonna see the 4 holes, 2 on this side, 2 on this side of the metal. This swing arm mounts on top of that. You already have the screws in it. Just back them out, set it into place, and you notice the pulley wheels is here will line up with the cables here, so you know you don't have it backwards. So it should sit like this, where this is gonna line up with the pulleys. If you turn it around backwards, this will end up on this side. So just make sure it's in that area. And then just tighten that back up. Then once that is on, you have this arm right here. This is just gonna slide right into this shaft here, then tighten it back up. Then after that, it's the simple parts. You just putting your padding on, and those are self-explanatory. You got your seat pad, you got your back pad. All the holes will line up according to where they're going, so you can't make a mistake with those. That little pad right there is gonna go right here. That would rest on your knees. Okay, your next step, this is what it looks like after you got it all together. Got your pads on, the shaft going through to tighten that up. Now you're gonna find this counterweight. Just take the nut off, the screw off, put it on this side of the machine and tighten it back on. Then you're gonna go to your weight stack. Your weight stack, you're gonna have these 2 rubber bushings that's gonna go at the bottom first before you load your weight stacks. Then at the top of it, you're gonna see this is just a pole holder. It'll already be up there. It just holds the poles into place once everything is installed. Then these poles, you would put those rubber bushings on first, slide the pole into those bushings, lean the weight over, the poles over, slide all of your weight plates down. Then you're gonna put this back on top of the poles. They'll snap into the holes, and then slide it back in and put those screws back on. After that, you're gonna have your 2 covers. Those will mount where the one with the yellow is gonna mount towards the inside where you can see it when you're sitting down. The other one on the outside. Then you have those 2 covers that's gonna go on top. The screws are already in the machine, so you just don't take them off just how they're already backed out. They already unscrewed a little. You just slide them in and let them hook onto the unit and then tighten them up. Okay, next step is gonna be running the cables for the weight stack. Just maybe a correction when putting on this front bar right here. When you're putting it on, you just have to make sure this wheel, this lever right here, is up on top. When I first put it on, it was down below, so it needs to be up on top, just as you see it. And then with your cables, of course the cable is already hooked to this, so you'll just let that cable run up over this wheel. You get to the next wheel, you go under. As you go up into the cover, it'll go over both covers. both pulleys and then come down, and then you'll see it going into that stem going into the weight stack. So again, make sure this is on top. You know, tighten all this stuff down. Start with the pulley, make sure it's inside of this track. At the end of the track, come up over this pulley, under that pulley, and then go over top of both pulleys on top. And then you'll see a hole at the right in the frame. Go down through that hole and go down into the weight stack. Here's a wider overview of it, of the cable run. And then on the weight stacks, you have 3 Allen head screws going in there. 1 is in the back, 2 in the front. Just loosen those up. Make sure the cable push all the way down till you can't go anymore, and tighten up those screws. Final part is just putting on these covers, which is self-explanatory. Just you know, put the little Allen head screws in, and on the one side to get it started. And then you put your other cover on the other side and just tighten the screws up. Then you completed your assembly.